Andy Timmons, everyone. Again, like I said about Nuno Betancourt, gonna be in my top 5 for sure. Huge influence, and is the ultimate badass of guitar, if you ask me. Obviously today, just as he was back in the day when I was really throwing myself into his playing. So it would have been the early 90s era, and he doesn't really talk about it that much now. But he was in a band called Danger, right? Now, just a heavy rock band of the early 90s, and they had an album called Screw It. Hopefully a lot of you will be familiar with it. If not, you need to listen to it, because it's just, I was mesmerised by that album. He's not overly proud of it when you listen to some interviews, because it's, you know, a bit of a risky subject, you know, a bit Motley Crue-ish, a lot of profanity and innuendo, darling. But the guitar playing on it is phenomenal, and with a real rock edge to it, which is my favourite sort of thing. But there's a track on it, Puppet Show, which was really brutal. Butchering again. But, you know, give me a break. But, oh, email. Anyway, the thing from this is the sheer aggression. It starts off with just like he's kind of jazz improvising, because he did have a jazz background as well. But obviously the joke is, come on, man, stop that, come on. And then he cranks it up. And again, the thing with this is it's, for the majority of it, it's 2-note per string, aggressive. And I just loved that sound back then. It sounded like a machine gun. And I was just mesmerised by it. But the one thing I want to show you from it anyway is actually the arpeggio section, which I brutalised then and played awfully. But it's an extension of just a major, and then you'll tap the octave on the top. But I pretty much, when I started, when I figured that out, again, I think that's how we played it anyway. But I really applied the sweeping aspect, because I wasn't particularly good at it at first. I was very much into the alternate picking, like I've said before, the Paul Gilbert style, or Zach Wild style. And I didn't really do any economy picking kind of stuff or sweeping. I just found it really difficult at times, so I avoided it. But hearing that, I thought, I'm going to try and apply this technique here and get used to it. And again, pretty much. And then a diminished. And then a minor. Oh, apologies. But interestingly enough, he does the same thing reverse in the Groove or Die, which is one of my ultimate favourites, from his X-tacy 2 album, which I will dissect. Well, I'll talk about a lot in the future, because that album blew my mind as well. But, you know, if anyone's familiar with, well, again, it was kind of at the beginning of YouTube when I was in my heyday, like 12 years ago. No, 17 years ago. Oh, a long time ago. God. Anyway, you'll be familiar with again, that's the arpeggio that he's playing, the 2-octave arpeggio. Instead of going up, he's coming down. And that right there is just, it floored me. And what you'll notice now, if I'm ever faffing around and just regurgitating lick after lick all over the place, in an incredibly distasteful way, you'll see some of those arpeggios. Oh, there you go, there's jazz at the end there. There we go. Anyway, just a short one, but God, Puppet Show off the album Screw It by Danger. You have to listen to it. And again, I'll show you some of my absolute favourites off that, because Andy Timmons, he's very much on the melodic side of things nowadays. However, he's still got all that technique, because you'll see him when he's playing live or whatever, people will request, can you play Groove or Die? And he will, and he'll just throw it out there, not a problem. But back in that early 90s, his technique was phenomenal. Again, because of the jazz aspect, probably studied a lot of bebop and all kinds, because he was a session player as well, and you have to be able to do pretty much everything. But his alternate picking was very, very, very developed, and his cross string ideas, because you'll hear every now and then he'll do those kind of ascending ideas. And that's something that a lot of guitar players avoid, obviously, the crossing over. It's much easier to play a group of notes on a string than to just play two notes. Or even worse, inside. That's the right drag, isn't it? Anyway, we'll get to all of that. So there we go. Screw It by Danger Danger. Everyone listen to it, and I'm going to cover all kinds from that, because my favourite solos in the world are on that album. Anyway, enough rambling. So everyone practice your 2-note per string.